Okay, we had the new parts come through from the factory. We'll get them on the car ahead of FP1.
Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video and yet another episode of my F1 2018 career mode. Today we are here for round number 12 of the Hungarian Grand Prix on the calendar. If you guys did miss the last race at the Hockenheim, the return of the Hockenheim, then do check out the last episode by clicking the card in the top right hand corner of your screen, because it was our first completely worked race of the season so far and it was an absolute cracker. Now in the background you can see, in the meantime, we have upgrades in the car for this weekend. All of them were successful, which is good news, and you can see on the R&D chart we're now the fourth best team, and we're making very strong progress here. And you have to say the car has been phenomenal lately and really has come on leaps and bounds in the last couple of races. And we know we've been putting in the work in Friday practice and also, you know, hitting the team goals and overall just generally putting in the work and really making sure this car does progress up the ranks and make it a much better car. And we're now pretty much best of the rest, you know, in Formula B, in inverted commas. So now we've got to try and stay there for the rest of the season. I want to try and get a couple more upgrades in the car to increase our gap to the rest of the midfield, and then eventually I want to focus on durability for the rest of the season and try and get the car nice and reliable, because you know we are going to have to take engine penalties at some point this season. So it's still, we're not out of the woods yet. We might have a little bit of pain later on in the season, but as you can see, we're currently here in Friday practice, and I've got to be honest, I struggled for the programs here. It was a bit of a workout and I just could not get it to work. The car felt okay, you know, like the track in itself was fun to drive, but compared to the delta times that was being proposed, I just could not match it. And as you can see, we're currently on the qualifying performance test, or I think no, it might be the tyre wear test or the ERS, I'm not sure. Either way, I was trying to get a good lap in here, but I failed my first attempt. I went out again. This time I was on for a good lap. I was beating the delta, but then we made the mistake and crash out.
Are you okay? That was a big one. Confirm you're okay, please.
And that is going to be the end of our session, guys, unfortunately. First big mistake of the season, first big major crash, and ultimately no resource points to come from it in FP1. And I thought to myself, well, you know what? I think it's only fair, because I looked at my gearbox and my gearbox had 66% wear. I thought to myself, you know what? I'm not going to bother. I might as well just take a brand new engine, get a brand new gearbox, and start from the back of the grid, because my gearbox is 66% worn. However, this is where the mistake occurred. It turns out what was 66% worn was my practice gearbox. I didn't realise at the time. So I took the engine penalty first, and then I went over to the gearbox tab, and then I realised, oh crap, I've made a mistake. My gearbox was only on 23%, but I was using the practice gearbox. So we basically made a major error here. We took an accidental engine for no reason whatsoever and ruined our weekend. So yeah, not ideal, and we're going to have to start from the back of the grid basically, and a bit of a miscommunication and not really paying attention. But overall, let's see what we can do this race weekend.
I think it's great how much your team has been focused on developing your car. You didn't make it to the end. Was it the car, or did you just push it a bit too far? Well, thanks anyway.
In the 48 races held at Spa between 1950 and 2015, the race winner has only started from pole position on 16 occasions. Qualifying yesterday may have set the order for today, but expect the unexpected here at the Belgian Grand Prix. As the saying goes, of course, anything can happen. And you know what? It usually does. So here we are once again at Spa-Francorchamps with 19 corners, 9 to the right and 10 to the left, and a lap distance of 4.35 miles. An average lap speed in the dry here is around 145 miles per hour. It's a very quick circuit indeed. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Thomas. They're starting towards the back of the field today in a car that is fast, so they'll be disappointed, won't they?
It's not a nice feeling, I promise you. They've got a quick car underneath them, but they've got onto the grid today and they need a pair of binoculars to see the start lights. They'll be desperate for a good start to make up for some of that deficit.
Right guys, here we are on the grid for the Belgian Grand Prix, and after my massive error in selecting the engine gearbox situation. I'm going to have to assume the consequences of starting from the back of the grid. However, it's not all doom and gloom. A fresh power unit. I've put a little bit more air onto the car to be a little bit more faster through the corners, because obviously I've got a bit more straight line speed now because of the new engine. So I should be aggressive. I'm going to go straight forward this race. Plenty of fuel in the car. I'm just going to go really aggressive. However, we are going to stick to the one-stop strategy, which is the preferred option, and also the lack of qualifying tyre wear is actually going to make that possible for me. So the plan is simple. Be aggressive on lap 1, however, be very cautious into the first corner. End plates are very critical around here for all the fast corners like Pouon, Eau Rouge, the Fagnes chicane, and all of those fast corners. So we need to keep our front wing in one piece. In terms of the strategy, we're going to start on the soft compound tyres and then revert onto the mediums. Fuel-wise, we are 4 laps over, so we're going to have plenty of fuel in the car and we're going to be pretty damn heavy. But overall, I'm looking forward to it. There might be a little bit less talking in the video because I'm not in the best situation with my throat at the moment, but I need to get ahead for the Belgian Grand Prix, which is ironically the race I'm recording right now. But let's see what happens here, and hopefully we can have a good race starting from the back of the grid. So with that being said, it is now time for round number 12, or round number 13 actually, for the Belgian Grand Prix. Right then, let's get ready for the 5 red lights here on the grid at Spa-Francorchamps. Lights out and away we go. We bogged down quite badly actually, so we're not going to use any engine mix just yet. We're going to wait for our chance into turn 1. Being cautious here, being very careful not to get pinched onto the inside too badly. We've got past Marcus Ericsson. Now we're behind.
Okay, that's a good start. Keep it up.
Behind Sergei Sorokin here. Make sure Ericsson's looking for a move into Eau Rouge, but we just cover him off, losing the back end a bit. We're in overtake and rich mix, running full beans at the moment, and everyone's just picking up slipstream on everybody, so the speed right now is ridiculous. Into Lecom though, up the inside of Sorokin here. Sorokin give me a squeeze onto the curb. I'm going to push him back for not really giving me the room there when I was clearly alongside, and we get past him up into P18. So far 2 positions gained as we go down Rivage turn 8 for the first time. Lance Stroll, the next car we have to pass here. I'm also going to try and keep my tyres in because that worked very nicely for me at Hungary, so I want to try and do that again. I'm going to leave it in rich mix now for a little bit, and that way we can contend on the straight so we're having to use the battery too much, which is something I want to save for overtaking specific purposes this race, which is something I want to test out, especially around the power circuit. I'm almost kind of laying out a blueprint for the next race in Monza here, and also I'm very green. I only did like 3 laps in practice and no qualifying, so I need these race laps, these opening laps, to get a feel for the car because I feel very green around here, and I think we'll gain confidence and build up in confidence as the race goes on. But for now, it's all about getting used to the track. Right into turn 1, we're going to try and see if we can set up the car here for a potential overtake on Lance Stroll. It's a very nice exit. I'm going to let Stroll pull away. Now we're going to go up into overtake. That way we can carry the momentum up the hill at Eau Rouge through Raidillon here. Pull into the left hand side. We need to send that slipstream as long as possible. I'm now relying on the tow from Stoffel Van Dorn to edge me ahead of Lance Stroll, and we've just about managed to get it. Stroll though coming back up the inside. He didn't want to back out that one, but I made him give up, and we've finally got the move done. So we're up into P17. It's all kicking off. I think the Sauber of Charles Leclerc is holding up quite a few cars, so there might be an opportunity here to get past some cars. Stoffel Van Dorn locking up there, making me lock up in return, but we're looking good so far. Car feels pretty nimble, pretty quick, so I definitely think we've got some good straight line speed as well. The new engine is really helping us out, so yeah, that's definitely going to be a massive favourite for us. This race is going to be an absolute slipstream fest. We're going to have to really play our cards wisely when it comes to making the overtakes here. Look at all the sparks being kicked up here. Absolute fireworks everywhere. As we got the inside of Stoffel, everyone's going very slowly here as the Force Indias actually lock on. The Force Indias lock on tyres, and we slip past a pair of them there, which is brilliant for us.
DRS is now enabled and will be available to use when you are within 1 second of the car ahead.
At the inside of K-Mag. Aggressive. I'm going to squeeze him out, put him on the curb. We have to make these moves count, so very aggressive. The Force Indias locked on. I don't know what happened, but they came to blows like last year's Belgian Grand Prix, and we took full advantage making the move. DRS now enabled though, so Kevin Magnussen's going to come back at me here with some DRS assistance. We are running full beans here, overtaking rich mix. I can't do much more. We're going to have to hold the inside into Lecom. Magnussen making it around the outside, but I'm going to go around the outside of him yet again. the extra downforce paying off, and we make the move, and we're up into P13 now. So making great progress here so far, and we're only on lap 3. So if we can keep this up, we're looking good. Also, all of a sudden it's got extremely overcast and dark here. I wonder, I'm pretty sure there's not a chance of rain, but I could be wrong. Right, personal best. Magnussen seems to be following me. No one else is, just K-Mag. He's got that pace in the Haas car, so I'm trying to stretch him out so DRS basically has no effect. But right now he's doing a good job of keeping up. I'm hoping to nab some DRS from Leclerc this lap. Not right now, but maybe on the back straight or towards the end of the lap going on to the next one to really try and break away from Magnussen here. But I think we should be okay this lap. I don't think he's going to be too close. Yeah, I think he's far enough away to not threaten me, so we can actually run it in medium and save some battery. Okay, we've managed to get away from K-Mag. We're now on the back of Charles Leclerc. This is very nice. I'm not going to bother going to overtake. I want to just pick up the pure slipstream. This gives me a chance to save the battery a bit. I'm actually going to go into low, really maximise that battery saving into none. Bit of end plate on the floor there. Someone might have had some contact. Saving as much battery as you can here in the non-ERS mode. I'm going to just sit behind Leclerc and try and pick him off with some DRS. That's going to be the best way to do it. I don't want to get re-overtaken because that Sauber's quick in a straight line. So I'm going to keep it in none. I'm going to try and save that battery for now, and I'll crank it up going now out of turn 1 into Eau Rouge. A little bit of a look on the first corner there into La Source. Now on the power. There we go, up to speed now. Magnussen will have DRS on me, but he's not going to be much of a threat. Now into overtake here to carry some speed through Eau Rouge. Back end just getting loose on me there. That was very scary for a second. And now we're gaining in the slipstream in medium ERS. We should be okay to get this one done. We're gaining on Leclerc here. We're going to pull to the inside.
Our gap to the car in front is 3.1 seconds.
And there we go. It's a textbook move. Leclerc tried to hold it around the outside, but it couldn't be done. And we're now up into P12. And you can see on the minimap here, there's loads of cars just in front of us on track. So we're looking good, and we're on these fresh softs. So we're looking very, very in a good position right now when it comes to our actual race in itself. So let's keep our head down. And let's keep, pushing on and trying to break away from Leclerc and Magnussen in terms of the DRS. At the moment, I'll say this, 5 laps in, tyres are pretty damn good, only 20% wear. I can easily go double and get to lap 10, so there is an outside chance that we could potentially, I say could, maybe go on the super soft in the final stint and avoid the medium, but we'll have to see how far we can get these tyres into the Grand Prix first. Now we're in clean air, there's a good chance to keep on pushing whilst keeping the tyres in the zone. So let's get our head down and hunt down these guys in front of us, but also try and maintain our tyres if we can. Seems like my teammate Pierre Gasly might have a problem here. He's at the front of this 4-car train, and they're really starting to slow down here, so we might have an opportunity of getting past Pierre already on lap 6 of this Grand Prix, unless maybe he's passed the car that was going slow. I'm not really sure, but I can see Pitlane going up ahead and 2 wide action. Okay, Pierre comes in, so maybe his tyres were knackered. He was on super softs. Here we are though.
Pierre is in for his stop.
We're in amongst this battle. Sainz and Alonso, the 2 Spaniards. Past versus the future. Or should I say, I'll say the present versus the future. Either way, we're going to rejoin here. Neck and neck with Lewis Hamilton. We're going to have to use some overtake to try and edge ahead of that Mercedes. And we just about get it. And you can see Sainz and Alonso going side by side through a Rouge into Raidillon. We're going to pick up the mega slipstream here. Make it 3 wide potentially. Oh, there we go. Beautiful stuff. Although I've lost end plate though, which is not good.
Okay, car behind is now running the super soft tyre. That's the super soft on the car behind.
Lewis makes the move.
Mind that front wing. It'll need replacing if it takes too much damage.
Right, end plate damage. First time I've had that in this game. I wonder what it's like in this year's game. Is it drivable, or is it going to give me just colossal understeer? Already though, I can feel it's giving me understeer. So we might have to come in and get that fixed. Good news is we're in P9. Bad news is that we're going to have to come in and get this front wing repaired. So yeah, it's an early stop, unscheduled stop, but it's got to be done. Wow,
okay,
that was scary.
Still looking good, Nick. Let's keep them that way for as long as we can. Confirmed. We'll receive you at the end of this lap.
Here we go into the pit lane.
Our gap behind is 2.5 seconds.
Get it all slowed down. There we go. Beautiful entry. So we're going to have to get a front wing change, which is not ideal, but we are in the race now. We've recovered nicely. We're back where we want to be. So from now on, we can try it here. Hulkenberg's been done dirty, been held up an absolute, just way too long for time there. No one's really coming past us in the pit lane, so we shouldn't get held up. 7-8 second pit stop. Okay. That's not too bad. We're down to P18. There's Gasly in front of us. He's on another set of super soft, so PA on a two-stop strategy, it seems.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
Right then, so nothing's really changed. We're on the same strategy as we was originally. I was basically eyeing up the super softs, but now we just got to make sure we get these mediums to the end. We cannot stop again, otherwise we're going to be in trouble. And that way, with the one stopper, we can still benefit from people doing two stops. So let's see what our pace is like on these mediums, and let's see if we can switch them on. I feel like Ocon on supers behind me is probably going to catch me, but let's see what we can do. Let's see what our pace is really like around here. The tyres took a while to get to temperature, but we now got them in the window, so I think now I'm starting to finally get some confidence on these, and I'm actually able to push, and we've managed to just survive, and Ocon hasn't got within my DRS. He was like 1 second and 19,000th, but we just got the tyres up to temperature at the crucial time. I managed to keep that 1 second gap, but this middle sector is where
Yellow flag.
Ocon might pull me in though. Yellow flag, someone's had a problem, and it looks like it's a McLaren who's slowed down here. Which one is it? Is it Stoffel or is it Fernando?
Okay, clear.
I'm not sure because they've got going again, so it's not retirement. It must have gone for a spin. Either way, it's holding up a couple of cars now through here, so we're going to get a chance of getting past here. And overall, I've got to say these tyres feel pretty good. I'm quite happy now I've got them up to temperature. They're actually pretty nippy as we lock up, trying to get past Lance Stroll here. This should be fairly easy pickings. Stroll gets out of the throttle actually, so we're going to pick up the slipstream, and we're currently in overtake. Stroll though holding on. We're going to just get on the inside here. Stroll giving me just enough room. It's Fernando Alonso who's struggling in the McLaren. We touch the curb. We avoid Alonso though critically, and into the chicane. Sirotkin and Gasly side by side. This is really kicking off it. I want to talk more, but I'm trying to be careful. Right. We've managed to do pretty well there, I think, considering the front wing change. Gasly's right here, and we're in the races, which is good news. And we're currently in P14, so hopefully we can make that P13 after this Eau Rouge Radio and Kemmel straight combination as we try to pick up the move on Sirotkin, who will have DRS off of Gasly. However, he doesn't seem to be running a high engine mode, and here we go, we're gaining on the Williams. Max power, max DRS, pull to the inside. We're gaining on Gasly as well here, but we're going to have to just focus on making the move on Sirotkin. He's still there. I'm going to just squeeze him though onto the curb, and we're up into 13th position, so good progress, good recovery. Can we keep up with Pierre Gasly, who is on relatively fresh super soft compound tyres here? Gasly's definitely a bit quicker, but we've managed to stay within his DRS.
Line has boxed for the mediums. Car behind on the medium tyre.
A couple of cars in the pit lane here as well, so you'll see we're going to gain a few places. We're going to be close with this Renault on the inside of Carlos Sainz, but we do get in front of him. So right now I think we're looking pretty good for position here. I'm not really sure where Sainz was, but he's on medium, so he's on the same strategy as me, just that we're having to get these tyres to the end of the Grand Prix, which by the way, if I look at the tyre wear, they're not too bad actually, so this is okay so far. We're looking good. We are gaining on Pierre here. I'm not going to go for the pass though. I think Pierre's got to stop again, so I'll follow him while his tyres still work, and then once I feel like I've got the advantage, I'll get past him, I think. Right then, another car in the pit lane. It's a McLaren of Stoffel Van Dorn. Another personal best from us, and we're now into the top 10 and into the points here for the first time this race. Or should I say, well, for the second time, even though the first time was very brief. I think I might have just dropped out Gasly's DRS here, taking a bit too wide of a line through turn 1, I think. Yeah, I have no DRS. Damn. Right then, that's no problem. As long as we stay ahead of Sainz, that works for me. Okay, Pierre comes in for his second stop, so that's going to promote me now into 9th place. So we're now well in the points. I'm starting to use some standard mix now to make up for the fact that I'm starting to run out of rich. Also, I'm actually faster than Sainz at the moment, so this is my chance for me to save some fuel and also save some battery and get back on side, so to speak. So we're making it work. I'm also faster than Grosjean, I think, so P8 is definitely on the cards if we play our cards right. We've got a yellow flag, or at least we did have a yellow flag momentarily on this back straight. That seems to have corrected itself. It looks like a Mercedes has gone for a spin or something, because he's now in front of that Renault on the mini-map, so something might have just happened there, and there might be an opportunity to get past that Mercedes if he's got car damage, who knows. We've really closed the gap to Grosjean though this lap.
Running next car ahead is a Haas. Okay, gap to leader, 23.8 seconds.
Running at a strong pace, I was going to say. Gap down now to 2.1. It was 3 seconds last time around, so we are catching quite a lot to Romain here. So P8 is looking very possible, which would be a fantastic recovery drive given the circumstances. I'm starting to really pick up the engine power now, so I'm actually using some overtake, and I'm going to leave it in rich mix until the fuel now runs out, because I really want to close up this gap to Romain and get at least within his DRS. If I'm within his DRS, I can save a bit of fuel and battery before I go for the move and then try to pull away after that. But I want to at least get within his DRS first of all, so we're using up some battery power here. What a difference a little bit of overtake mode makes. Half a second up on my personal best, and I'm going to use overtake again here on the back straight to try and get within Grosjean's DRS. Is this possible? Can we gain enough on this back straight? I don't think we have. I'm not sure we're close enough. Yes, we have. Right, brilliant. So that's worked out beautifully for me. Now we're within Grosjean's DRS. I can now try and really get a little bit closer and then try and save the fuel mixture a bit.
Strong, but be aware your tyres need to go the distance.
Yeah, don't worry, Jeff. It's all under control. I've been running smooth for a lot of laps. Now I can actually push a bit. Here we go again. Let's try and stay within DRS here. For the middle sector, I'm good. It's, you know, it's just the final sector in sector 1 where it comes down to engine power. I do lose out a bit on initial, you know, power output. Tyre wear wise, we're looking okay. You can see there, 27 on the rears. That's not too bad considering the amount of laps we have left here. So, right then, fastest first sector. We're now well within Grosjean's DRS, and this is my fastest sector around the lap. So, I can just take it easy and wait for the overtake and try and strike like a tiger. I'm actually able to run in none mode, so I'm really saving up some ERS here. I think this lap coming up now is going to be the one that we're going to try and bolt, get past Grosjean and absolutely leave him for dead. So right now I'm just sticking in the slipstream, but we've saved a very nice bit of ERS. I'm probably going to try and line him up for the Kemmel straight, so I'm just waiting. I've got a little bit of rich mix as well. Going to run the non ERS again here, just to try and save that last extra bit of power. And basically we're going to use overtake on the straight to really try and pull away. Alright, DRS. And now we're going to leave it in medium, and now
5 laps of fuel remaining.
Prepare the attack on Romain here. So out of turn 1 into hot lap mode, pick up that initial speed into overtake, rich mix enabled. Here we go. Just carry the speed through a rouge. Try to not lose the back end. There we go. Beautifully done. Now in the slipstream, open up the DRS. We're pretty far back. However, we are now at max power 340 k's. Look at the speed difference here. Up the inside into Lecom. It's very close. We go around the outside though. Extra tyre grip and downforce. And we are past Grosjean for P8. Fantastically timed move. I'm going to keep it in rich mix though. This is my strongest sector, so I've got to try and break away if I can. And also mess around with the ERS modes. I cut that corner a little bit too much curb. Not that I really gain time, but ERS into overtake briefly there. Trying to really pull away through Pouon. I'm strong through here. Overtake it again. Maximise that top end speed. I'm just going to keep trying to pull away from Grosjean here and break him basically. Grosjean potentially using some ERS of his own to stay within the DRS window. So he's done that. First time of asking. Extremely 1 to turn 1. Not the best line, but we've got some overtake left, which I'm going to deploy everything that's left through a rouge and along the Kemmel straight. Grosjean not giving up just yet. He's still relatively within range. You can see him there. He's still pretty close. We're going to use all the battery here. We're going to start actually harvesting energy right at the end. We'll have to go down to medium. Right, we've survived Kemmel. Let's try again to break away here, but this time we have no battery power to use. I've got to just do it on pure pace.
Battery charge is low. If we turn down the ERS deployment, we can harvest more energy.
Don't worry, I'm on it, Jeff. Leave me alone. I know what I'm doing. Personal best, I'm trying to break Grosjean here, gap to 7/10. The gap is growing and getting larger. This time a much better turn 1. It's going to give me a better exit. We're starting to just edge away now. Grosjean's struggling to really stay within range. I want to keep it in overtake through a rouge to carry the speed up the hill. And then we're going to have to go into medium pretty early on here. But it looks like we've got a bit of a gap now this time around. You can see Grosjean.
2 laps of fuel left.
Nowhere near close enough. I think this time we have got it wrapped up. I think we've managed to break Grosjean. Right, I'm now out of rich mix. I'm using the last bit of overtake on this back straight. The gap through the middle sector was just over a second. It was 1.032. So I'm using the very last bit of engine power here to try and separate Grosjean from some DRS, and I think I might have just done enough. We'll confirm it now as we go over the line to start lap 21. Also, tyre wear situation, you can see my tyres are pretty worn. Has Grosjean done enough? No, he hasn't. Right, he's now out of DRS, so we've done enough. We've done the job. We had just enough resources saved up, and it's paid off. Let's bring this position 8 home and back to the factory and to the boys. Let's do this. Oh, yellow flag up ahead. It looks like there could be one more position here. I can't see where the yellow flag has occurred. It's Bottas in the Mercedes, but he's up the road at the moment. Let's have a look. I can't see on the mini-map. I don't know what's happened. Hulkenberg.
One lap of fuel remaining.
Hulkenberg, I think. It's Nico Hulkenberg, not Bottas. So Nico's got a problem, and I think he's pulling over. I think he's retiring from the Grand Prix. Yes, he is. Hulkenberg's out of the Belgian Grand Prix. Wow, on the last lap of the race. We're now up into 7th place here. Wait, hang on. How are we 7th? Okay, yeah. Hulkenberg was 7th. And Bottas and Ricciardo are now squabbling in front. So, wow, this would be incredible. From last in the grid to P7. What a recovery drive. Right then, Lewis Hamilton wins at Spa. It looks like we're home and dry for P7. Grosjean giving it one last push. But I don't think it's going to be enough for him as we go into the bus stop. Nice and easy does it. No mistakes required here. Out the final corner on the power. And there we go. It's P7 from last on the grid. What a race.
Great drive, great drive. We're really happy with that performance.
Right then, looking at the final race results, Lewis Hamilton wins the Belgian Grand Prix by 0.70 ahead of Sebastian Vettel. Extremely close, less than a tenth of a second, and Raikkonen rounds off the podium. Max Verstappen P4, beating Daniel Ricciardo. Valtteri Bottas only P6, and I think he had some problems during the race. We get best of the rest, P7, after starting from the back of the grid. So ultimately, a phenomenal race for us. Romain Grosjean, Sergio Perez and Carlos Sainz ran at the top 10. Pierre Gasly only P14 on the two-stop strategy. Poor race from our teammate, and we managed to beat him quite convincingly and quite easily, to be fair, with Nico Hulkenberg unfortunately retiring on the last lap of the race. But now, in terms of the driver standings, you can see Hamilton leads the way. He retakes the lead, 13 points clear of Bottas, and he's 22 points clear of Sebastian Vettel, and now 40 clear of Kimi Raikkonen. We remain in P7 as expected, and we're now really starting to solidify ourselves as sort of in a bit of a space. So we're not really in the midfield or in the top runners, we're just sort of in our own little slot. And Pierre Gasly remains in P10. Now, in terms of the Constructors' Championship, we are now really comfortably P4, and we've got quite a bit of distance to Renault now. So we're looking very good, and it looks like we are starting to really solidify ourselves as the best of the rest on the grid. But overall, guys, that's been Spa, and now we're going to move into the upgrades.
Good day today. Tell us about it from your perspective. It's safe to say you're smashing everyone's expectations, isn't it? It was more like Dodgems than Formula 1 today, wasn't it? Great! Well, that's everything.
Right then, so we're here on the R&D screen, and we've got 956 points to spend. However, I've looked at what the options are, and there's not really something that's really calling my attention. I want to try and focus on the aero a bit, which is the weakest part of the car. However, because we've not been particularly nice at the aero department, the upgrades are a little bit too expensive right now. So I think we just have to go into Singapore with these 956 points and try and build upon those over the race weekend. I could do some durability, but now that I've actually taken an extra engine, I don't think I'll need to do durability for a little bit longer. We can probably get away with it for the next few races. So with that in mind, I think I'm just going to basically save the points and focus on the next race in Monza, sorry, not Singapore. So hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of the F1 2018 Career Mode. If you have, then please do drop a like on the video, guys. Also, do get subscribed for daily Formula 1 content, as it does mean a lot to me. And if you can also turn on notifications to not miss a single video, that would also be greatly appreciated. And finally, check out these two videos on screen if you have missed them. And other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.